But the problem is, the reason why you find a lot of the times people get divorced is because from day one, no one's playing their part. No one's actually playing the part they should be playing, and hence why there's a lot of problems. You need to understand, you can't get 10 out of 10. You may get someone who's beautiful. She's beautiful, mashallah, tabarak rahman. But her deen is, she just about prays, and she doesn't know everything in her deen and what have you. And then she comes from a very good family, but she doesn't have shyness. And so like, you need to weigh out the pros and cons. And then you may get a sister who, mashallah, her deen's on check. She prays, she's got shyness, she comes from a good family, good lineage, she's got the deen like we mentioned, but beauty wise, alhamdulillah, mashi hal. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. I'm so happy. I've got exciting news to tell you. The recent video I put out regarding making hijrah to Kuwait, well, guess what? It's launched and it's ready for those that are serious. That's right, you can come and live in the lands of the Muslims in Kuwait, where you have a beautiful weather throughout the whole year, Muslim land, tax-free, a place where you can study under so many prominent scholars. They're countless, mashallah tabarak ar-Rahman. Learn directly authentic knowledge from their feet. You can also learn the Arabic language. That's correct. Learn the Arabic language for free of charge. Brothers and sisters, children, young and old, you're able to learn Arabic language from the different institutes in the country. A tax-free country for those that wish to work. Guess what? We're providing the residency card. That's correct. Residency card, the iqama, where you're able to come to the country and we sort out all your paperwork. Once you land in the country, you get picked up from the airport. That's correct, free of charge. You get given accommodation for free for the length of 10 days. 10 days free accommodation. And we do all the running around, getting your paperwork done until we give you and hand you the residency card. All of that, brothers and sisters, for how much? £2,999. 2,999. That's all you're paying. £2,999. That's literally peanuts, brothers. I'm telling you, it's something that we're doing for the sake of Allah and to help the brothers and sisters that wish to come and make hijrah to the Muslim lands. It's just about that time. I've been there, done that. I know what it's like to live in a non-Muslim lands where you're struggling every day. It's a constant battle with your deen, constant battle with your children. You don't know whether your children are going to come back home or not, whether they're going to survive or not. The gun crime, the knife crime, the education that's been, infiltrated. Everything is just getting too much. It's just about that time where you make that decision that's inshallah going to make a brighter future for you and your family members. So if you're interested and if you're serious and you want to live and reside with the within the Muslim lands, all you have to do is just make that email, send us an email, drop us an email, and we'll give you all of the details inshallah, where you can get an iqama, a residency card that's 1 year, and it's up for renewals, and you can renew it every single year. You don't have to be a certain age, you don't have to have a certain income, you don't have to have a certain degree or profession or what have you. You just have to be willing to make that leap. £2,999. If you're interested, get in contact, get in touch with us. Read the description below. If you're serious, MSL is here to help you in the journey of living and residing within the Muslims, where you hear the adhan 5 times a day. You hear the statement of the Tawheed 5 times a day, brothers, and you're with the Muslims, a safe country where you can literally leave your keys in your ignition, just like I did the other week. Go do shopping for an hour and come back, and your car is safe and sound with your wallet on the dashboard. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
حركاتهم وهمومهم وعزومهم لله لا للخلق والشيطان. نعم الرفيق لطالب السبل التي تفضي إلى الخيرات والإحسان. تفضي إلى الخيرات والإحسان.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. All those listening, brothers and sisters, I want to talk about something that's crucial all our lives, each and every single one of us. And I think it's something that not many talk about. It's something that not many talk about. Now, for those that haven't, we've done 2 videos so far regarding marriage, how to go about. We've mentioned the hadith, فَاظْفَرْ بِذَاتِ الدِّينِ, choose the one that's most religious with regards to, selecting a spouse. Now, it's something that it comes about a lot, but yet I see in the society we live in today, not many understand the topic of marriage. Not many understand the topic of being a father, being a wife, being a mother, being a husband. So these are the topics that I like to dive straight into and talk about and touch on and highlight. Why? Because of the fact that as a Muslim community, we tend to dodge, we tend to water down, and we tend to just look at it as aib, shameful, shameless, it's taboo topic. We don't want to talk about it. When subhanallah, when you think about it, it's the reason why we have so many problems. Just giving you an example, how many brothers that I've spoken to are suffering from trauma? How many brothers are suffering from things that happened in the past when they were a child, and up until now they didn't know how to speak about, or they didn't know how to confidently, bring up on a table? How many sisters go and they are in relationships that they shouldn't be in? Brothers are in relationships that they shouldn't be in. Brothers are getting married. It's a sunnah, without a doubt. Some people it could be wajib for, as some of the ulama they mention. Of course, we know the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ when he mentioned, Ya ma'ashara al-shabab, man istata'a minkum al-ba'a falyatazawwaj. O gathering of youth, whoever is capable, i.e. financially, then let him get married. They're capable, they're ready. Okay? فَإِنَّهُ أَغَضُّ لِلْبَصَرِ وَأَحْسَنُ لِلْفَرْجِ. Because why? Because of the fact that it protects you and it helps you from lowering your gaze. وَأَحْسَنُ لِلْفَرْجِ. And also protects you, and it makes you safeguard yourself from falling into zina. It protects you from doing stuff that you shouldn't be doing. But of course, this is one aspect, right? The aspect of marriage being a sunnah. And that which the Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned as well. And he stated, the Prophet ﷺ, he says, وَإِنِّي أَتَزَوَّجُ النِّسَاءِ. For those that wanted to be, righteous and what have you, at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, when they didn't want to partake in getting married. So of course we know that it is a sunnah to get married. Now, then there's a question. Is everybody fit for marriage? Are you fit for marriage? That's what you have to ask yourself, really and truly. Because you may not be fit for marriage. Whether you want to get married or not, you may do more harm in getting married, because at the time, I'm not saying don't do it. A'udhu billah. This is the min hadi Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, this is from us following the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As Allah mentioned in the Quran, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. It's khair, it's ni'mah. It helps you, nisf ad-din. It helps you complete half your religion. You get rewarded for it. Okay, but not every single person is suitable at the moment of time when they want to get married. That's one thing, that's what I want to highlight. At the moment of time when you are going into a meeting and you're not suitable for marriage, why are you lying to yourself? Why are you going to cause problems? So this is the first thing I want to talk about. We've spoken about the sisters' side in terms of who you should get married to. Right? Sisters, beware. Those that are reverts, make sure you're wary of who you're getting married to. When it comes to, you actually going about and you're not, you don't have a Muslim family, make sure you inform your non-Muslim family members and what have you. Also, in terms of those that are seeking marriage, you should also make sure you're seeking the right spouse. And one of the conditions, subhanAllah, look at this. When you ask yourself, many of those that are not listening, that are not parents, when you ask yourself, okay, how can I have a righteous offspring in the future? You don't have kids, you're not married. SubhanAllah, the fa'idah, the beautiful fa'idah is, how do you know? And you can't tell the future whether you're going to have a righteous one or not, but the rights that your children have over you, yani inshallah your future children, is that you choose the righteous spouse. That you choose a righteous spouse, husband or wife. You choose the righteous one, the one that fears Allah, the one that has taqwa. And what's the meaning of taqwa? When the ulama, they explain taqwa, what's the meaning of taqwa? أي أن تجعل بينك وبين عذاب الله وسخط الله وقاية. When you put between yourself, okay, and you're about to do something, put a barrier between that which angers Allah and that which Allah dislikes. Okay? That which angers Allah, you put a barrier, you put a stop to it. So you have to make sure you choose someone that's God-fearing. okay, that fears Allah Azza wa Jal. So moving forward now, for the brothers, I'm not going to dive into it straight away. I'm not going to dive too much into it. I'm not going to delve onto the topic. But of course, when you go to a meeting, from the things that you ask, we'll touch on both sides, inshallah. From the things that you should ask a sister, okay? And this is something, once again, I'm telling this is both of you. It's crucial that you're open, okay? It's crucial that you're open. When I say open, Afallahu amma salaf, okay? In terms of the meeting, is it a must for a brother to really, to put onto the table everything that he's done in the past, and a sister? Look, okay? Let's talk about it from a perspective of Allah Azza wa Jal says, قُلْ يَا عِبَادِيَ الَّذِينَ أَسْرَفُوا عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ لَا تَقْنَطُوا مِنْ رَحْمَةِ اللَّهِ. Tell those, O Muhammad, those that have transgressed on themselves, by way of sin, tell them to not despair from the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jal. So if Allah can forgive, then surely, inshallah, you should forgive. If your spouse has, a past, whatever it may be of sin, that which is displeasing to Allah Azza wa Jal. But now, when I say you should be open, is that if you suffer, oh brother, oh sister, from mental illnesses, if you suffer from certain things, if you're possessed, all of these things, really and truly, you should put onto the table. Why? Because maybe that brother or maybe that sister doesn't have the capability, the capacity to handle that, and they didn't sign up for that. And there's been cases many times where a sister, for example, she has something from the past. And this is a message to the fathers. That's why what? Man la yarham la yurham. Whoever is not merciful, then Allah Azza wa Jalla won't have mercy on them. And really and truly from the huquq, laysa minna man lam yarham sigharana. They're not from us, the one that doesn't have mercy over the young. So therefore you should be merciful to your children and raise them upon, of course, discipline them, but don't completely destroy them and give them and make them live in a toxic environment, because it will affect them in the future. So if you are from those that suffer from something and you are battling something on the inside, then try your utmost best to be open with the person you're going to get married to. So at least from day one, there's honesty. As-sidq is important, is key. If you have, something physical, then you should try your utmost best to, and of course the ulama, they mention regarding this. So we're going to take from that which the ulama mention. Why? Because فَاسْأَلُوا هَلَا ذِكْرٍ إِن كُنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. We go back to the ulama, alhamdulillah. But they mention and they say, regarding revealing everything, on putting it onto the table, if you know, and this question, subhanAllah, was asked recently and several times, it's been asked in the past, if you know that which you are keeping is going to make or break the marriage, meaning it could make the person say no to you or say yes, then you should put it on the table. But if it's something minor, for example, something happened to you when you were young or this and that, and it's not a must. It is not a must. I'm talking about something that is going to actually have a physical impact and a mental impact on your spouse, then you should tell them. Why? Because then look, for example, a sister is possessed and she has a jinn. Sihr was done on her. Okay? And she gets into this marriage, she really wants to get married, and she feels as if she doesn't want to display that she has, a jinn. So the brother asks, is there anything that you want to say, anything that I need to know of, and what have you? We're going on to the third meeting, everything's okay, alhamdulillah, la-di-da, everyone's happy, jobs are good and everyone's happy, but it's the last meeting. Now the brother asks a question, sister says, no, there's nothing. Okay, 6 months later, the brother's, reading Quran, for example, in the house, or something's happening. Or it could even be physically, it couldn't be fi'lan, this could happen. It could be that they're intimate together, they're having intercourse. And then something happens. Something happens. Now, sister, this was amana. This was something that you kept from him. And he completely was shocked. He didn't know. And then it happens, reoccurs, and it happens at different places and different times, and he doesn't know what to do. He gets scared himself. He's never really dealt with anything like that. Maybe he doesn't have the knowledge to deal with something like that. Maybe he doesn't know. I'm not saying to you, you don't deserve to get married. I'm not saying that, sister. No. What I'm trying to say is you should put it on the table and be honest, because maybe he doesn't have the capacity to deal with it. Not everyone can deal with such things. Stuff like, someone being possessed or having sihr done on them. Or for example, if the sister, or let's flip the script, let's say the brother has been possessed. Maybe the sister can't deal with that. It's too difficult. She didn't sign up for that. She didn't sign up to get married and at the same time, look after you. Because you need now therapy. You need to see someone about it. Islamic therapy. And of course, maybe you need someone to speak to. Let's say it's not sihr or it's not a jinn. Let's say, just generally speaking, you went through a lot in your childhood and you need to, get that therapy and counseling done from the Islamic perspective. She didn't sign up for that. She doesn't know how to do that. She wants someone to look after her. Meaning, be a husband, be a man. And now you've got this that you've brought onto the table and you didn't tell her in the beginning in the meeting. That's not fair. Really and truly, if you look down to it, that is not fair. Why? Because from the get-go, a Muslim should be honest. If it's something, for example, of sin or something that you've done or what have you, then, it's not going to affect your marriage. Because why? You've left it off and it's gone. That's why the ulama, they say, when we said earlier, if it's not going to affect your marriage, you don't need to actually say it. You don't need to reveal it. Why? Because it's done and dusted in the past and you've left that life or that sin or whatever it may be, brother or sister. Now, with regards to now, you mentally not being up, right, 24/7, maybe 15 hours in a day, you're completely fine. And then you have your, maybe you're bipolar. Maybe you've got schizophrenia. Maybe you've got, I'm not saying a specific thing, but something that it just comes at times, or maybe you break down, maybe something that is uncontrollable from your side and you haven't managed to overcome that battle. You should be honest from get-go and inform your spouse in the meeting. Just put it out there and make dua to Allah Azza wa Jal. Why? Because look, many times you see that as Muslims, subhanallah, we forget this hadith. عجبا لأمر المؤمن. هذا حديث النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أصدق البشر وما ينطق عن الهوى إن هو إلا وحي يوحى. This is the Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم. So you should realize and think, okay, the Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم says عجبا لأمر المؤمن. Amazing is the state of the believer. إن أمره كله خير. Each and every affair of his is upon goodness, is good. إن أصابته ضرا. That if he is afflicted with a calamity, صبر فكان خيرا له. They are patient and that is better for them. وَإِنْ أَصَابَتْهُ سَرًّا شَكَرْ فَكَانَ خَيْرًا لَهُ. And if they're afflicted with some sort of, if they're blessed with a blessing, then they are thankful. And that is better for them. وَهَذَا لَا يَكُونُ إِلَّا لِأَمْرِ الْمُؤْمِنِ. And this is not going to be except in the cases of the believers. So, meaning whatever happens is going to be of goodness. If that specific meeting you were honest and then you didn't get married to that spouse, maybe you were attracted to them, you liked their personality and what have you, but it didn't work out for you, what do? You don't despair. You don't start thinking bad of Allah. No. Why? وَحَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرَهُ شَيْئًا وَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكَ. You could hate something, but it's better for you. Just like you could love someone, وَحَسَىٰ أَن تُحِبُّ شَيْئًا وَهُوَ شَرٌ لَكَ. And you could like something and it's good for you. So you could like something, sorry, and it's bad for you. You can hate something and it's good for you. وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Allah knows and you don't know. Why? Because وَخُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ ضَعِيفًا. That's the reason why. So look, it's very simple. With regards to these affairs and with regards to marriage, you have to be honest. And why I say that? Because of the fact that I've seen so many cases where brothers and sisters are married and things are just going wrong. Things are just going wrong. Like, for example, like I said to you, think about it. A couple of years down the line, this is coming up and it's like they don't know how to deal with it. Now, had it been fixed from day one, i.e. being fixed meaning it was put on the table, the person could have opted out because it wasn't for him. Not everyone can deal with a jinn and actually be able to deal with someone who's possessed. Maybe they have one jinn, two jinns, maybe they're sihr, which, so all of these things, they do occur. Okay? It's waqi'. It is there. It's present, but it's not for not everyone has the physical capability and the mental capability and the, you could say spiritually that it's not for them to be able to deal with. They can't do it. They can't handle. They can't cope with all of it. It's too much for them. And it's not that which they signed up for. That's one thing you have to bear in mind. Marriage should start upon truth from the beginning. From the beginning, truth from the beginning is one that has sidq from the beginning. That's what it should be. Why? Because then you know that, okay, yes, I signed up for this. So that's one thing I just wanted to, point out, because it does happen a lot. People don't talk about it. And I'm just your brother in Islam. And I'm miskeen. Abdullah, I'm your brother in Islam. And brother from another mother. I'm your brother in Islam. And we're all brothers and sisters, one ummah. And we should, you know, love for our brothers what we love for ourselves. كما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه. None of you is a true believer until he loves his brother what he loves for himself. So look, at the end of the day, marriage is a big thing. People underestimate marriage, you know. I'll be truthful. People underestimate marriage. And I've spoken to so many brothers, okay? So many brothers. And they just underestimate marriage. And it's like, bro, what are you doing, akhi? This is no joke. This is no, you know, it's not just you having a girl, you know, doing a little, you know, 1, 2 here and there. This is serious. It's not like a little boyfriend-girlfriend thing. This is serious, bro. You know, fix up. You know, fix up, look sharp. You have to, you know, you have to realize and bear in mind, this is marriage. I'm getting myself into I'm putting myself into a commitment. It's not no contract thing where you're, you know, signing a contract and, you know, this, that, ride together, or die. Obviously, you know, alhamdulillah, we have Islam. Islam meaning, like, when you get married for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal, number one as well, it should be for the sake of Allah. I've always mentioned that, but it's so true. You should get involved in this new phase of your life for the sake of Allah. Why? Because when you start something for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal, then inshallah Allah put barakah in it. Don't you want barakah? Now look, because why I'm saying it, I know so many brothers, sallallahu alayhi may Allah not test us, that have gone through it, and you know, sisters as well, they've gone through it, and they're divorced and what have you, and it's like, when you actually look at it from a bird's eye view, this is something so simple, it could have been resolved. But yeah, what's the difference between our generation and our parents or grandparents? See, it was known, if you're from Pakistan, if you're from Somalia, if you're from Africa, if you're from, you know, anywhere back home, even in Europe as well, it was frowned upon to just get divorced. Obviously, I'm talking about, generally speaking, let's just say the back home. Let's not talk about Europe. But it was frowned upon for someone to get divorced. La. Talaq, yani, it's like serious. You got divorced and then you go like, No, honestly, like serious, generally speaking, honestly, I'm trying to think of different cultures and languages, what have you. And that's another topic to talk about as well, interracial marriages, because that's something that definitely is underestimated. Everyone wants to jump onto that wagon. Everyone wants to jump onto that boat. They want to get a taste of that ice cream. But it's not for everyone. Let's say 99% of the people that actually get involved in interracial marriage, it's not for them. Let me pause because I know myself. I'm going to start wittering on and talking about the topic. Anyway, so with regards to marriage, don't underestimate it. It is not easy. It is not easy. It is not easy. So now, in a meeting, brothers, you should look at that sister, okay? And to be honest, you need to picture yourself that you're in a meeting to choose not only your spouse, which you should be attracted to, she should have deen, should come from a good family and what have you, but we're going to talk about these things as well, because we live in a different day and age, so you can't really expect to get all 5 of them 10 out of 10. Nah. If you want 10 out of 10 in everything, you need to fast Monday, Fridays, do Siyam Dawood, and wait for Hur al-Ain. That's my best advice, honestly, brother, that's my best advice. If you want perfection, make sure you fast, stay in the masajid, you know, do your ibadah, do what you need to do in dunya, and just wait for Hur al-Ain. Wait for Hur al-Ain. That's my best advice. Hur al-Ain, because honestly, it's sad. Because I know a lot of the times, a lot of the brothers, look, I've been there, done that, right? And a lot of the times when I speak to brothers, I look at them and I just think, to be honest, when you go to a meeting, you have to lower the caliber. Brother, you have to lower the caliber. You have to just instead of going to gear 6 and expecting everyone to be at gear 6 with you, start from the park mode when you're in park. Car's not moving. Then go to neutral. Then go to low gear 1, gear 2, gear. You know, go slowly. You can't expect perfection. You're not perfect. So why are you seeking perfection yourself? And think about it as well. If you were perfect, then really and truly, you should be married already. You should be married already. You know, you should have everyone coming out your door asking for your hand. But akhi, you know, hate to break it to you, you're not perfect. So therefore, stop seeking perfection. Because look, you need to understand. You want 5 from those things. You know, the deen, the religion. Sorry, the deen, the beauty, the nasab, and all of these things that the Prophet ﷺ mentioned in these hadith and more. Okay. In terms of mannerisms, in terms of shyness, in terms of, you know, her past, in terms of her friendship, in terms of the way she treats her parents, all of these things, yeah. But of course, this hadith was jawami al-kalim. It literally consists of all the things that you need, right? You need to understand, you can't get 10 out of 10. You may get someone who's beautiful. She's beautiful, mashallah, tabarak rahman. But her deen is, she just about prays, and, you know, she doesn't know everything in her deen and what have you. And then she comes from a very good family, but she doesn't have shyness. And so, like, you need to weigh out the pros and cons. And then you may get a sister who, mashallah, her deen's on check. She prays, she's got shyness, she comes from a good family, good lineage, you know, she's got the deen like we mentioned, but beauty-wise, alhamdulillah, mashi hal, you know. So you need to weigh out your, you know, pros and cons. Then you get a brother, same thing, mashallah, he's got deen, he comes from a good family, you know, good lineage, what have you, wealth, alhamdulillah, he's well off, but you wouldn't call him handsome. He's not really, you know, he's not easy on the eye. Okay, and then you may get another brother who, mashallah, you know, he's your Yusuf alayhi salam. For you, and in your eyes, you see him as handsome. He's top, you know, 10 out of 10. But then at the same time, his deen he's struggling with his deen. You know, he's got money, but his family's a bit messed up, it's got problems, and so you need to weigh out your pros and cons. So my point being is that you can't get perfection in everything. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters, and all those listening. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Al-Dhahabiyya Institute, Foreigner to Fluency Arabic Language, is about to launch on the 29th of this month in January. So if you're at that stage in your life where you've been a Muslim, and you don't understand the words of Allah the Almighty, then it's about that time you take that leap. How long is it going to be? And how long are you going to carry on where you pray behind the Imam and you don't even understand the verses of Allah Azza wa Jal? You're not touched when you hear the Quran being recited. You're not able to read an Arabic book. You're not able to read the Quran by yourself. You don't have the understanding of the religion. As the ulama, they state that the sweetness of this religion and understanding the religion properly cannot come except by learning the Arabic language. Some of the ulama even hold the Arabic language to be mandatory. So guess what? It's about that time for you to pick up yourself and come out your comfort zone and learn Arabic. We're here to take you on a journey. Many times as well, you find that brothers and sisters take the wrong path with regards to learning the Arabic language. They don't understand what they need to be doing. They don't have the right tools. Maybe they have the wrong teacher. Maybe the methodology is wrong. Maybe they are taking the wrong resources with them. It's been 10 years, it's been 5 years, it's been 15 years, and you're still on the same level in terms of the Arabic language. You can't hold Arabic conversation with someone. Then it's about that time you take that leap, and let us help you in that journey, because I've been there, I've done that. I went from being a foreigner, not understanding the Arabic language at all, and alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, by the permission of Allah Azza wa Jal, I'm now able to understand the Arabic language. Walillahi alhamd wal minna. So I'm here, your brother in Islam, to help you understand this Arabic language and to become at a level where you're going to be able to speak and understand the words of Allah Azza wa Jal, so you can understand your religion in a much better way. Another announcement, on the 24th inshallah of January at 9 PM UK time, I'll be holding a masterclass free taster lesson where you'll be able to understand and see what we'll be covering bi'idhnillahi ta'ala on the 3-month program. I'm waiting for you on the other side. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. But the number one thing that should be there is the deen, sisters. You need a husband who has deen. How many stories have I heard of? And this, once again, I'm just shouting out, disclaimer, I'm not going to edit this, but it's something that sisters always fall for. He's a student of knowledge, student of knowledge. Ya ukhti fillah. A student of knowledge means he's going to treat you well. Ikhwa, don't fire me. Don't fire me. Be easy and gentle with me. I'm not trying to put down someone that's seeking knowledge. A'udhu billah. Hasha wa kalla. Abadan. It's impossible for me to do such a thing. Why? Because of course we know the ahadith and ayat. يَرْفَعُ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنْكُمْ وَالَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْعِلْمَ دَرَجَاتٍ. We know, without a doubt. My point being is that due to the fact that we live in a society that's everything now is just social media, we don't actually live in reality. We're living in AI, we're living in this nonsense phone of ours. Yeah, that's how we live. So we don't actually step back and put the gadgets down and actually think logically. So my point being is that because of the fact that the brother now is in Jamia Islamiyya, Al-Qura, Egypt, he's memorized Quran, Ashara Qira'at, or whatever it may be in terms of his deen that has caught your attention, that doesn't necessitate that he knows how to treat a woman, that he has mannerisms, that he controls his temper, that he's good with his mother. It doesn't necessitate that. It should, because he's got deen, so he's awla nas. He should be from the first that's hastening to having good characteristics, to, you know, not having a temper in terms of, yeah, any meaning. He knows how to control himself. He's good with his mother. He knows how to treat a woman. But this is the unfortunate circumstances that we live in today, and the reality is that that is not the case. So a kind message from your brother in Islam: make that number one the deen, but make sure you do your research. And same thing, brothers. It could be a sister, like because look, I'm a person. I just like to just be truthful, straight up. Whether it's for me or against me, I'm just gonna say how it is. Whether you like it or not, whether you like me or not, I couldn't care less. But for the sisters, a lot of stories I've heard is what, unfortunately, is the truth. Where you have brothers that are actually studying and what have you, and you know they're or maybe not studying, but they're people. Al-Zahir, that which is apparent, that the people that they are the people that have deen and fear Allah Azza wa Jal. You may even see them Tarawih, you know, now when the month of Ramadan, you may see them in Saf al-Awwal, you know, see them in the first rows in the masjid, read the Quran. They're gentle with the brothers and the ikhwa, and they're giving salams, and they're, you know, they're kind. As soon as they go inside the house, they're lions. Sorry, forgive me for that, making that, you know, but I just want to say, that's the reality. Some of them use their wife as punching bags. A'udhu billah. Now, obviously, without a doubt, you know, that's unacceptable. But I'm just telling you that is the reality. There are cases like that. So now, put that to one side. Ikhwa. There are sisters that, mashallah, tabarak ar-Rahman, they look like they're the, you know, they fit the description. They got the jilbab on point, mashallah, the way she wears the jilbab. You know, she wears niqab, she wears the gloves, she wears maybe double layer niqab and all this and this, that, mashallah, tabarak ar-Rahman. You know, you see her in the masajid, she's attending the lessons, she's signed up to all the online institutes, she can read Quran, you know, she can read, she's mujawwada, her tajweed is on point and this, that. But a'udhu billah, akhlaq sayyi'ah, awful characteristics. She chats back, she's rude, you know, she's got a fast tongue, she's not really good with her parents, she doesn't listen, but yeah, she's got all of that other stuff that I mentioned. So once again, it's not, la tahkum bil-zahir, don't just judge on the apparent. It's not just about the apparent that, yeah, that's going to make, no. Because really and truly, we live in a day and age where really and truly everyone can put on that cloak of at-taqwa. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, I wish it's not the case. No one's perfect, I'm not perfect, no, but I'm saying this is the reality. So you have to now put that into consideration. Now, brothers, sisters, with all of me saying this, what I've said, you have to now have a caliber in terms of not everything can be perfect, but the number one thing you shouldn't compromise, and I always say these two things. For the ikhwa, I'll say this. If I was going to get married today, yeah, I'm giving you advice as if I'm talking to myself. If I was going to get married today, the number one thing that I would look for, number one, is for me to even consider this sister, right? I need to know that the source she's coming from is authentic, and I trust this brother who's going to come to maybe through his wife or what have you, and I need someone that knows the person, and I need to know that her deen's on point. Her deen has to be on point, meaning 5 pillars of Islam, okay? Put that as she does the 5 pillars of Islam. Anything beyond that, in terms of Quran, knowing Quran and this, of course, we're not telling you, you know, marry anyone that prays 5. No, I'm talking about obviously someone upon sunnah and what have you. But it's not even that. As long as she's not Shi'i, she's not. Akhi, look, for me, look, once again, I'm saying you, the number one key thing that's important is that she does the 5 pillars of Islam. So, bil-zahir, that which is apparent is that she's a Muslim, alhamdulillah. So you've got that on check. She does the 5 pillars of Islam. She establishes the 5 pillars of Islam. Now, the next thing is that, for me, it's not she has to know Arabic, That's not a condition for me. She doesn't have to have, go to durus all the time and lessons and this and the number one thing after the first thing I mentioned, meaning she's got deen. So I've established that hadith, فَاظْفَرْ بِذَاتِ الدِّينِ تَرْبَتْ يَدَاكَ. That part of the hadith, I've tried to implement it by making sure she establishes the 5 pillars of Islam. The next important thing and the most crucial thing is she has to have good mannerisms. And from that, she has to be shy. She has to be shy. She has to be shy. She has to have good mannerisms, good characteristics. Because look, at the end of the day, wallahi, for me, I'm talking from a brother's perspective, right? And I believe every brother listening to this would agree with me. A sister that doesn't lean more to her feminine side is not attractive. That's not an attractive sister. Yeah, and he's someone that's outspoken, loud, and this, and that's, for me, it's like, nah, she needs to work on herself. Okay, so she should have good characteristics. Why? Because at the end of the day, you're marrying someone, you're going to be living with someone. They need to have mannerisms, because they need to be able to convey those mannerisms to my children. And of course, before that, they need to show me those mannerisms, because I myself need to show those mannerisms as well. It's a two-way thing, not a one-way cycle. It's not a one-way lane. La ikhwa. You have to also put on the table your characteristics and make sure you have good mannerisms and good conduct. But she has to be on point with her mannerisms. So if you're a sister now and you're listening to this, make sure you fix up before you go to those meetings. You know, shyness is something that every single brother craves for. When they're getting married or they're married in the marriage life, that's a beauty of a woman, you know. فَإِن لَمْ تَسْتَحِي فَاصْنَعْ مَا شِئْتَ. Yeah, and if you don't have shyness, do as you please, as the Messenger ﷺ says. So that in itself is a beauty. Now, afterwards, what would I look for afterwards? Because many brothers, they think that it's important for sisters to be hafidha or to be salafi and this salafi and nah. At the end of the day, as the Arab have a saying, and it's so true, az-zawja ala din zawjiha. What you're going to be upon, she's going to be upon as well, inshallah. As long as she's not those extreme, okay, just... we don't want to dive into it, but I've seen some crazy stuff in, descriptions. The sisters put as one of the criteria and conditions is that a brother has to listen to these people and these du'at and these shuyukh and let them, have their own corner, and they can go to their own pitches, and they can go to their own parties. Anyway, so that's really key. Mannerisms is key, because at the end of the day, a sister that doesn't have any mannerisms, she doesn't have shyness, she doesn't lean towards her feminine side, nah, that's just a big X. So she's got deen, she's got characteristics and what have you. With characteristics, of course, comes with being good to her parents and her mother and her father and siblings and, obviously her friends, her company, all of those stuff go with that, right? And obviously that goes under the deen as well. Now the next thing should be beauty. Now, of course, it's difficult nowadays to do so, but, because look, I remember as well, one of the scholars mentioned regarding this advice in terms of rejection, and a brother shouldn't be rejecting a sister due to beauty. So therefore that means, and of course some of the companions, advice that Messenger ﷺ, a companion came to him and said that he wants to get married. He said, have you seen her? He goes, لا ارجع فانظر إليها ما يعجبك. يعني go back and see that which pleases you, كما قال وسلم في الحديث الصحيح, an authentic narration. So meaning, look towards that which pleases you in order for you to actually say, yes, I want that sister, or no, because you need to see her. And some of the companions, they will actually go and actually, go after the sisters in terms of, we don't want to put it that way, people may misunderstand and misinterpret what I'm saying, but meaning they would go, and some of the narrations, we don't want to mention them because once again people might misinterpret, but they'll go to extremes, they'll go to extremes of actually spying and seeing to see if they can see the potential spouse, literally, in order to see her beauty. So by this we mean seeing her wajh, and that is difficult nowadays. Maybe I would say, maybe it may not be practical, but it should be something that you should have seen her already somehow, or be informed if she's beautiful, if she's, meets your conditions or criteria in terms of your beauty. But generally speaking, let's say you're not able to do that, you should, have these things first. The deen should be first. And then obviously, with the deen, of course, you see her in the meeting, but you should try your best to reject. That's why I said lower your standards in terms of, look, there's been many brothers who've gone into meetings, have seen a sister, and they're like, nah, no way, nah. She looks like my sister. I've heard brothers say, nah, she looks like my sister, bro. I'm like, what are you talking about? And some brothers be like, nah, she's not for me. I'm like, listen, are you still comparing? Because once again, a lot of brothers, they do that without them realizing. They compare. They actually compare. Okay? And they actually compare and they say, yeah, you know what? Nah, she's not for me. I'm like, what do you mean she's not for you, bro? Like you said, you like her characteristics and she's this, you know, she caught your eye. If a woman catches a brother's eye, it means you were somewhat attracted to her. She's got some sort of beauty in your eyes, to your standards, where, you know, she's caught your eye. So if she's able to catch your eye and then you just try to be like, oh, but you're starting to compare now. Oh, you know what, she's not the one. To be honest, nah, man, she's just like my sister, bro. Like, you've started to compare. Come on, be real. You've started to compare. So you need to now realize that you need to put aside all those billboards, all those, you know, IG photos you came across, accidentally stumbled across, profile. Nah, you need to put all that to the side. She's a sister in front of you. Judge her for who she is and not for anyone else. Don't compare her. So that's what I'm saying to you. Standards should drop, not in just everything, but in terms of one or two things. Let's say, for example, she was shy, she had characteristics, but at the same time, maybe, you know, the way she conducted herself, she could have conducted herself in a better way. Maybe the brother, you know, all of these things don't have high standards too much where you're never going to get married to anyone. We've spoken already about, you know, the brothers, what you should ask a brother, and this. I'm pretty sure we have spoken about it and touched upon it. If we haven't, then please let me know if I haven't done it. But as a brother, you need to ask certain questions now. From the questions should be what you look for, what you look, where you see yourself in 10 years' time, 5 years' time, down the line. You need to also assess and judge and analyze the way she's answering your questions, brothers. Because many sisters, they go into a meeting and I've heard that sisters now, they memorize and they know what answers to give to brothers to make them happy and satisfied because they're falling in love with him or they like him from the get-go. So brothers, you need to be aware. Same thing as sisters as well. You need to be aware. Some brothers, they know what lines to give back and, you know, to make you happy and make you just, you know, fall for them. You know, they can be like, mashallah, Allah barik alayki, you know, anyway, there's some brothers, they've got the gift of the gab and they know how to talk. Some brothers, masakeen, Allah yinkum, and you need some help in terms of speaking to sisters. You need to know how to speak to women. It's important, and I do say this as well. It is very crucial. Brothers, you need to learn how to speak to women. I get this a lot, and I've spoken to brothers before, and it's like a lot of the brothers, Allah it's just may Allah aid everyone, but it's so bad. It's like they just don't know how to talk to women. It's like, bro, you need to know. You need to get some classes. You need to, you know, book in some sessions with some ba'd al-ikhwa, you know, that have some sort of khibra and experience in this bab. And it's like, listen, you need to know how to speak to a woman. You need to know how to make a woman happy, how to, you know, it's important. I'm talking about why I'm saying it, meaning even when you're married, you need to have some sort of, you know, some bars in your pocket. You need to know how to speak. You need to know how to flirt with your wife. You need to know how to, it's crucial. This is important. I'm not saying this honestly as a joke. Put jokes to the side. I'm actually being serious. Brothers, you need to actually know how to talk to a woman. It's important. It's key. You know, it's key. It's very, very important. Because then your marriage actually will be, you know, enjoyable from both sides. Anyway, look, so with regards to, you know, what to ask, you need to know, when you're asking these questions, analyze how they're responding back to you. So from the questions that you could be asking is, you know, what would you do in this situation? You need to understand as well how materialistic they are as well. So you ask them, what would you do in this situation? Allah tested me. And I don't have money, I don't have a job, I don't have nothing. What would you do? You need to ask them where they see themselves. You need to ask them questions in terms of, okay, are you happy by being a housewife, for example? Or do you want to work? Then you need to, you know, now you're tapping, you're literally, you're tapping into the tabs of if they're feminist or not. You need to know, are they, because some sisters, subhanAllah, it's ajib, but some sisters, they say they want a brother that's practicing, they want to get married, and they want to, you know, implement the sunnah. But at the same time, they want Tony. They don't want Muhammad, because Tony's going to let them work. You know, have a normal 9 to 5, come back late. They're going to take it in turns. Who's going to cook today? You know, they write down a calendar. They're going to, you know, they're like, okay, but I need to make 20 million before, or I need to make, or maybe that's a big number, but I need to make a certain amount of money before we can have children. So sisters are confused. They don't know what they want. And that's the truth. That's how, generally speaking, Allah has created women, where most women don't know what they want. Hence why, from the hikmah, and it's not, many sisters get annoyed and upset when they hear these things, but it's not anything. It's just the way Allah Azza wa Jalla has created, Allah the Almighty has created men and women differently. You know, you've been created from a rib cage. You know, literally the rib part is obviously the most crooked part, and it's different. You guys think differently, you act differently. And man and woman complete each other, and there's a saying, brothers. But anyway, listen, we won't go into that. But listen, so you know, with regards to the questions you need to ask as well, I don't think it's so important as to how many hours she spends in seeking knowledge, because really and truly, you now need to be her teacher. When you get married, that's that's why I say, brothers, it is crucial to seek knowledge, because you should be at a stage when you're married now and you're able to teach your wife. You should be at that stage. Or you listen to lessons together, but you should be at the stage at least you could teach her Fatiha, Quran, the meaning, and start certain things, certain aspects of the religion. You need to be at that stage, brother. But look, at the same time as well, brother, you need to understand that when you're assessing her and you're speaking to her, she's in front of you, is she at the stage where she's mature enough to actually get involved in that life of being married? Is she going to be the mother of your children? Do you see that in her when you ask questions? For example, what she likes to do, her hobbies. Does she want to move and live in a Muslim land, or does she want to live in the West where you are? What are the, you know, the ways she can bring up her children? How can she raise children? What's the best method and approach to raising children? In terms of dealing with a man, is she going to be patient? Is she going to learn together? What is she in it for? Why does she want to get married? Who her friends are? How does she spend her time? You know, can she cook? These are the things that I think are important, because really and truly I do see that maybe there are some exceptions where some sisters don't know how to cook. But once again, sister, you know, as sad as it may sound and as blunt as it may sound, if you don't know how to cook, then really and truly you need to learn how to cook. I personally do believe that is a big, massive skill that a woman should possess before she gets married. My personal opinion, you know, just my personal opinion, because it should be something that she takes a lot of arrogance in a good way, meaning she takes pride and she's arrogant about it in a good way. When I say arrogant, I mean pride, meaning she takes a lot of pride in her cooking and being able to serve her husband and cook. That's not the only thing, obviously, but because once again, look, I'm not someone that's biased, or no, that's not the only thing, but I'm saying it's important. Okay. And so that's another thing as well. So you need to ask these questions. You need to ask questions because you know, you see many times brothers where they go into meetings and they just start having a chat, and it's an immature chat, and it's like, bro, I don't think. It's like you're signing up to have a girlfriend and she's signing up to have a boyfriend. That's not what marriage is. And that's what I'm saying to you. These are the problems. It starts from the beginning, because if it was fixed from day one, you know, sisters, if you get, let's say for example, a sister, like, once again, a sister can ask, should I get married to someone that's younger than me? I don't see why not, sister. You could be 30 and he's 29, or he's 25. You could be 38 and he's 26, but he's mature enough to be able to look after you and what have you. But once again, it all depends. Some brothers are not serious. So the caliber is obviously starting low because brothers are not serious, and then obviously sisters now they just get fed up, and it's like some of them don't even want to go for marriage, and it's like, but really and truly, brothers, we need to fix up. I do believe we need to fix up more. The moment we fix up and we are, like, you know, serious, then our sisters can be fixed up, meaning our actual blood sisters, and therefore then it's going to be a community that's now fixed up, and you know, we're actually serious. So therefore, when a brother gets into a meeting, he's not going and having a joke and having a laugh and asking silly questions, where did you go last? No, it's serious, because at the end of the day, that's going to be your future mother of your kids, the future mother of your kids, inshallah. So therefore, you need to make sure you evaluate the situations, and vice versa, sisters as well. When he comes in a meeting and he's there, you need to also assess him in that way. Of course, maybe his looks may have, you know, taken your eye for a minute or two, but at the same time, you need to now understand: is he going to be able to actually be the father of my children? The father of my children, is he going to be able to actually look after my children the way I want him to? Or if anything was to happen to me, if I was to go away, or if he was to take my children, he can actually care for them and cultivate them. That's key. And you know, these are from the questions. And like I said, I'm not going to say every single question, because it depends on the circumstances and it depends on, you know, the situation. But I think these are things that are actually important. Why? Because, like I said, we don't talk about these things, and it causes problems, because many times people can ask, okay, when I go to a meeting, what should I ask? What should I look out for? You should look out for the way she conducts herself, the way she is. And same thing as well, sister, you should look the way he conducts himself and how he literally takes himself and how he carries himself from the moment he walks into that room. How is he? Like, like, once again, look, sisters, I'm telling you this because I'm a brother, so I'm telling you so I can inform you, so inshallah you can benefit. If I walk into a meeting and the sisters all staring at me like that, I'm going to be like, whoa. Like, I might even walk out. Maybe not, but like, it's a bit intimidating. A sister shouldn't be like that. She should be shy. If I've walked into the room and she's there, or let's say she comes in the room and straight away she's like, all eyes on me, eyes literally gurgling at me. It's like, ukhti, like, what's going on? Like, of course, there's nothing wrong. Look, sisters might get this mixed up. There's nothing wrong with you looking at him to see if you're attracted and what have you, but it's the way you do it. It says a lot. Whether you're someone that has shyness or whether you're someone that, you want to be wearing the trousers in the relationship. And honestly, that's the truth, because look, at the end of the day, the more feminine you are, the more you play your part and the more he plays his part, everyone's going to be happy. Everyone is going to be happy. Jobs are good and it's done and dusted. Now it's just about, raising children and what have you and going through the obstacles in life. But the problem is, the reason why you find a lot of the times people get divorced is because from day one, no one's playing their part. No one's actually playing the part they should be playing. And hence why there's a lot of problems. Now, when it comes to you going into a meeting, okay, like I said, from the moment he walks in or from the moment she comes into the room or whatever, you should be assessing the way he is with your father. And that's why I say it's important to have your male relatives there. Because if you've got one of his friends and his friend is the imam and, he's acting as your wali and stuff, and you won't really be able to, because straight away it could be something that was set up. I'm just throwing in stuff, sisters, because I know I've been in, I've heard too many things and seen too many things. I just want khair for you. I'm not getting anything out of me saying this. So that's another thing as well. So you need to bear in mind that, okay, how is this whole thing set up? At the end of the day, honor yourself, sister. And I always see sometimes, subhanAllah, some akhawat, they don't honor themselves. They don't, they don't have some sort of self-dignity and pride, you're someone else's daughter, someone else's maybe auntie, or, I don't know, but you need to honor yourself. So don't just put yourself in any sort of relationship because you want to get married or no. Okay, but look, now, the next question, I think a lot of sisters do kind of, or maybe I'll stop now and talk about it in another one, but it's the topic of polygamy, the topic of, sisters that have children and want to get married and what have you, because that is something that a lot of times people don't talk about it, but it does need to be highlighted, it does need to be spoken about because it's important. But honestly, once again, the whole essence of this is just to shed some light on things that are not spoken about, because brothers and sisters, you need to fix up before you get into that relationship, because at the end of the day, if you have done your part, you've worked on yourself, you've established yourself. I'm not talking about financially only. It's not just about the financial aspect of it. It's about the whole essence of, mentally, internally. You've tried your best to be a good Muslim as much as you can. Now you need to know now, okay, yes, I'm ready. Let me go for it. And I think on that note, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, we'll conclude this session. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah Azza wa Jal bless you all. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You're here on the website MSO, your trusted partner in realizing your dreams. Whether you want to study, make hijrah, need advice in marriage, need advice in general affairs related to your life, whatever it may be, alhamdulillah, MSO has over 10 years experience. 10 years experience, that's right, in supporting and guiding aspiring students that want to go seek knowledge abroad or that are studying currently within the Islamic countries and they don't know how to go about with regards to that which they need to do and the best journey to take. Alhamdulillah, we've got a dedicated team which will cater to all of your needs. We believe in making your dreams a reality by dedicating experts to give you advice, personalized assistance, and a wealth of resources. It doesn't matter what you need, MSO has it all. Cultural insights, all logistical support, we have so much to offer to you. So remember, you're here for a reason. You didn't come across us by mistake. Join us in shaping a brighter future and expanding your horizons. Your success is our mission at MSO. So remember, the decision is yours. Do you want professionals or do you want to suffer on the way? We make your life easy. All you have to do is just click any of the services and we'll do the rest for you. Assalamu alaikum.